Hi there, my name is Froggy, and welcome to my Games of the Year awards. So this is going to be a bit different. Usually I do my top 10 games of the year, but that's basic. Everyone does that. I want to flesh out and try something different. So instead I'm going to pick categories. I'm going to nominate about 3 games for them, and we're going to pick the winners of those nominations, and anything that wins any award will automatically be put into the nominations for Game of the Year. So we have some ones like best action games, best stealth games, horror games, scariest horror games, best soundtrack, all that. So bear with me on this one. If it ends up being a failure, I'll do Game of the Year again next year. But I think this might be a little more original and cool, and I like the idea of it. So I'm gonna give it a try this year, and we'll see how it goes. One thing I need to mention before we get started, this is my personal list, so it is not limited to games that came out this year. It's limited to what I played this year. So yes, there are some games that came out 2016 that are nominated here that I didn't play till this year because it's my personal list. Alright? We just need to get that out of the way before we start, because even if a Game of the Year could get nominated from a year 2016, who knows? 2014, whatever. The first category is Best Shooters in 2017. Nominees are Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty World War II, Super Hot, and the winner of this award is Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege continues to be the freshest, best, and most interesting shooters I've ever played. 2017 remained the same with lots of content, a few bumps, but overall a fantastic year for this incredible multiplayer game that keeps growing and growing with more and more players. With a year 3 planned, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on this exact same spot next year. I am so delighted to continue playing this phenomenal, incredible shooter for another year, and another year, and another year. Please never die, Siege. I love you. The next category is Best Open World Game of this year. The nominees are Watch Dogs 2, Mafia 3,
It's not like he can go to the cops and tell him he lost his teeth. Don't stick around.
Assassin's Creed Origins, the winner is Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 came out in 2016 and placed on my Game of the Year list for 2016 at 5 or 6, I believe. I was done with it in December and moved on with my life. I rebought it through Steam during the sales and have absolutely re-fallen in love with it. I've put 30 hours into it in the last 2 weeks. The world is great. I enjoy just walking around observing everything. They've added a lot of content since I stopped playing. I've been loving grinding for new ranks and multiplayer recently and playing the new missions. The variety in gameplay is what makes the world so good. So much variety makes the world feel like it's never ever stale. Hacking streetlights, hacking this, hacking cranes, hacking all this cool stuff. The next category is the best horror game in 2017. And the nominees are Outlast 2, Resident Evil 7,
You're wasting your time.
The Evil Within 2.
What the hell?
The winner of this category goes to The Evil Within 2. While The Evil Within 2 isn't the scariest horror game of the year, it is without a doubt the best even within a year that had so many good horror games. It does bring the scares though, with a well-built, tension-inducing world. What makes the gameplay so great is the mixture of it all. Horror, gameplay, story, soundtrack, and more make it all together an incredible horror experience.
I've had enough of this. Here, go. Die!
I struggled hard between this and Resident Evil 7 for best horror game, as they are both so phenomenal. So Resident Evil 7 is a super close second, but The Evil Within, it brought it all. I really hope it gets a sequel or DLC because Tango Gameworks made something truly special here. The next category is the scariest horror game I played in 2017. The nominees are Outlast 2,
I'll bleed you in the yard!
Resident Evil 7, The Evil Within 2, This was an easy choice. The winner of this category is Outlast 2. Outlast 2 scared me so bad that I was afraid to play it and took long breaks. When I finally beat it, I was blown away. This game is just fantastic in a lot of ways. Horror is fantastic, graphics are fantastic, world building is fantastic, the characters are fantastic, if not a little bit anticlimactic. Outlast 1 is one of my favorite horror games ever. Well, I don't know completely yet if this is as good. It's definitely scarier, like leagues scarier than the first one. I think the story is well told. You don't really know what's going on, but you think you do, and when you really think you do, you really don't. There's twists and turns, and the ending has really stuck with me. I'm just gonna say that this nominee is like Outlast Trinity as a whole, because yes, I had already played Outlast and Outlast Whistleblower, but they're just such phenomenal games that you should pick up that package and experience Outlast, Outlast Whistleblower, and Outlast 2. They're truly great and terrifying horror experiences. Next category is the best soundtrack in 2017. Here are the nominees. The Evil Within 2, Outlast 2,
Power very wroth against us.
Friday the 13th, the game. The winner of best soundtrack of the year and probably best soundtrack of all time is Outlast 2. Outlast 2 doesn't just win soundtrack of the year, it wins soundtrack of all time. It is without a doubt my favorite soundtrack ever made. Never has a soundtrack fit a game so perfectly. I hope the man behind it makes Outlast 3's soundtrack and other horror soundtracks because it is just fantastic. Little things that make it so incredible, such as that intense start lets you know that you should be scared and you should run because, this is where the adrenaline throws up and it's like, just run, That's letting you know you're being chased. Now go. Then as the song goes on, it eventually drops to this lower tone, making a more methodical, predatory sound of the song. Changes from the big scary, adrenaline pump and run now to more of a I'm being hunted feel, which makes the character Marta so much more scarier. The soundtrack, it's mind-blowing how good it is. If you haven't listened to it, even if you don't play Outlast 2, if you just like horror stuff, listen to it. It's so good. Alright, the next category is the best stories in 2017. Here are the nominees. The Evil Within 2.
You've been searching for me for so long. So I have come. But wait, it's not me you seek, is it? No, it's the girl. I should be offended. But how can I be?
Mafia 3.
You know something, Lincoln? You're possibly the baddest motherfucker I ever laid my eyes on. She shouldn't have said no.
Resident Evil 7.
Ethan. You were right. I did lie to you. I shouldn't have. All I can say is that if you get this, stay away.
My winner for the best story in 2017 is Mafia 3. A controversial one probably because this game got pretty shit on at launch. It was buggy, terribly optimized, and the common consensus was that it was just too repetitive. I didn't play Mafia 3 at launch though. I played it back in February I believe and absolutely loved it. The optimization had gotten better, more content added, lots of bugs fixed. As someone who loves story games, Mafia 3 has a fantastic story with great characters and magnificent writing. Lincoln Clay, set up by the mob on A Tale of Revenge. It's classic, but it's great. Characters are great. As a whole, Mafia 3 may drag on, and I do think Mafia 3 would have worked better linear, but what we got was fantastic and has stuck with me all year for the great storytelling experience it provided. The next category is Best Multiplayer in 2017. This is separate from the shooters one we did earlier. Siege, COD, World War II, they're out of the picture for this one. The nominees are Friday the 13th, Watch Dogs 2, For Honor, The winner of this category is For Honor. For Honor is one of the most unique games to come out in God knows how long. In a loot box filled shooter market, a game like For Honor is so fresh that I just can't stop playing it 800 hours in. Putting that in multiplayer makes it so much better too. Really having to read your opponents, trick your opponents, and in general best your opponents in more ways than just attacking makes it consistently addicting and intense experience that makes you feel rewarded by the end of it. There's not a better feeling than outsmarting your opponent in For Honor, and it just makes it such an unforgettable experience. The next category is the best characters in 2017. The nominees are Resident Evil 7.
Where am I? What the hell?
Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's time for supper.
Who are all you people? Where's Mia?
Eat it. It's good.
Dumb son bitch wasn't no good if it hit him.
Yes.
Watch Dogs 2.
This sweetheart is Josh, aka Hot Sauce.
Yo, you're Hot Sauce? Yeah, man, I loved your frat house hat. Real talk.
Thanks.
This weirdo's Wrench.
The needs of the many.
And this Casanova is Horatio.
What's up, brother? What's up, man?
Mafia 3.
So those the men you gonna kill, huh?
That's the plan, Padre.
It's a dangerous course you're contemplating.
And what do you think we should do?
Sal Marcano deserves to die. I won't argue otherwise. Kill him. But let that be the end of it.
That's not enough!
It's enough if you say it's enough.
The winner of this reward is Resident Evil 7. This pick was easy for me. Jack Baker, Marguerite Baker, and Lucas Baker posed as the most unforgettable characters of the year.
Shit, he's not eating it, Jack. He's not eating it.
Shut the hell up, Marguerite.
Nation for him.
Get the hell out of here.
You're a son of a bitch.
Jack Baker is one of my favorite game characters ever and was an easy pick for character of the year, if there was an award for that. His lines are just unforgettable.
You ain't getting away.
Marguerite posing as an insane, filthy-mouthed woman who will stop at nothing to kill you.
I told you to stay out of here.
That ain't special.
Lucas being a deranged psychopath.
This right here is special. You see, Ethan?
The other characters are good too, such as Mia, Joe, and Redfield. The next category is Best Action Game in 2017. The nominees are Rise of the Tomb Raider,
Thanks. Look at that.
It's amazing.
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy,
Indian Army's not messing around.
and Doom. Winner of Best Action Game is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Uncharted 4 was my game of the year for 2016. It was a truly special game with a great story. Fun as all gameplay and just overall super memorable experience and a great way to close the series. But really, Uncharted 4 only closed Nathan Drake's story. There's still more to be told with The Lost Legacy. It really keeps everything from 4, including good gameplay, characters, story, and graphics. This game is truly beautiful. The locations here are off the chain. Well, it doesn't really do much to innovate, which is fine to me because I love the engine they have. I'd say pick up 4 over this. Nonetheless, since Lost Legacy isn't even full price, it is completely worth it. Seriously, buy it. The next category is Best Stealth Games in 2017. The nominees are Watch Dogs 2, The Evil Within 2, Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, The winner for Best Stealth Game is Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. Of course a Dishonored game had to win this. I picked up Dishonored: Death of the Outsider up around the end of the year, and I haven't regretted it. Variety in how you play, the encounters and how different you can play them makes for an experience that just never ever gets old. The stealth is fleshed out in the way of non-lethal or lethal that can change a story's end, but in turn could make it more easy or difficult. Dishonored just brings the best stealth experiences of the year. Dishonored 2 is my number 2 on my Game of the Year for 2016. We got a lot of good expansions this year, didn't we? Next category is Best Fighting Games in 2017. The nominees are For Honor, Injustice 2, WWE 2K18.
Planting him face first, reverse choke slam. Lesnar back in. This should do it right there.
The winner of Best Fighting Game is obvious. It's For Honor. For Honor is the game I just put the most time into this year. I just can't seem to get bored of its absolutely fantastic gameplay. Over 800 hours, it still feels like one of the most fresh experiences I can have this year. I didn't know I wanted a game like For Honor till we got it. This game sadly has a bad reputation. Dead game, peer-to-peer, shit balancing. For Honor isn't dead yet. Dedicated servers are being implemented to hopefully make this experience a whole lot better on the online side. Balancing is still an ongoing thing in For Honor. They seem to listen to the community a lot and are trying to make it balanced, so we just have to kind of wait. Like every game, I'm very happy For Honor had a narrated single-player campaign. A lot of these games just ignore them, i.e. Rainbow Six Siege. Story is not the greatest, and the multiplayer is where it's at, but nonetheless, it's a fun experience. Also, did I mention how fucking gorgeous this game is? Possibly best use of shading and texture work. It makes the setting just gorgeous to look at. Next category is Best RPG Games in 2017. Fallout 4.
This wasn't the world I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in.
Assassin's Creed Origins. Dark Souls 3. Winner of Best RPG is Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm so happy that Assassin's Creed Origins is a turning point in the series for most people, and that it's doing well. As someone who thought Unity was meh, riddled by bugs, overall kind of a boring experience, I thought Syndicate was good though. I was pretty excited to see that they were taking a year off to make the game even better. This may be the first game where I've ever walked around for just 2 hours and not felt bored, because of how beautiful the game looks and how special the setting is. The gameplay definitely goes more the RPG route, and I like the change. I think they did the combat, leveling, and weapons and their levels very well. Ubisoft seems to struggle with getting meaningful side missions, but I feel pretty confident saying Origins are pretty good. So much so that I got lost in the main story because of all the side content. The soundtrack is quite nice, but just goddamn roaming around Egypt is so much fun. Our final nominee, the big one, the Game of the Year nominees. As I explained earlier, any game that won an award so far is automatically entered to the Game of the Year status. So here are the nominees. The Evil Within 2.
This chase has been entertaining.
Shit! No! Don't!
Behold my latest creation.
No!
Resident Evil 7.
Happy birthday!
For Honor.
My second. You will be my second.
All right then. If I refused, there would be a slaughter.
Rainbow Six Siege.
Go.
Op 4 eliminated.
Watch Dogs 2.
Holy fuck, this is awesome.
You can poop your pants later, man. Because we are just getting started.
Outlast 2.
A young woman was found wandering, barefoot, pregnant, and alone on a barren stretch of highway 100 miles from the nearest... Oh!
We lost the engine! Fuck! Fuck! Until the engine is going down! Mayday! Now with me! 800! 500! 300! 100!
Mafia 3.
It's your cut, plus what I owe you. Even put in a little extra for your trouble.
Couldn't have pulled it off without you, Sammy. Y'all done right by me tonight. Mwah. Mwah. Why don't you get us something off the top shelf? We need to celebrate.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta tell me twice.
Hey, fill me up. You know something, nigga? You're possibly the baddest motherfucker I ever laid my eyes on. She shouldn't have said no.
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
What the hell was that? I thought you were a professional.
Oh, you should relax. You'll live longer.
Relax. It took me weeks to track down Asov. The man's as unpredictable as they come.
He's just another warmonger with no war to fight.
No, you don't know him like I do. He changes location and routines by the hour. We'd be foolish to take unnecessary risks.
Let's get one thing straight. This is my gig. You want your share? We play by my rules.
Dishonored: Death of the Outsider.
I doubt I was just a broken kid, staying alive out of spite. He cut the throats of 3 men without making a sound, leaving only blood and death in his wake. I don't know what I was hoping for when I followed him that night, but he shared his strange magic with me. And more than that, his skill, his time, his trust, and sometimes his secrets. Now he's not the man he was. Here in his final days, he's got wounds that won't ever heal and regrets as sharp as mine. I know how much that carves you up inside, but I found him, and he wants me to help him make up for a lifetime of sins.
Assassin's Creed order.
You will die, Medunamun.
Die, you bastard! Going to kill you for that! See what is mine!
The big Game of the Year award. Here it is, folks. Are you ready? My Game of the Year for 2017 out of those nominees is The Evil Within 2. I already explained the excellence of this game earlier, but I'll say it again. The Evil Within 2 is a beautifully crafted masterpiece with a great story, phenomenal gameplay, fleshed out upgrade system, and a scary world. It was a tough choice this year for Game of the Year. This year is probably being the hardest choice that I've ever done in any of these Game of the Year videos. Resident Evil 7 and this game is what I struggled the hardest between. In the end, I have to give it to The Evil Within 2. Whereas Resident Evil 7 seems to lose some of its steam towards the end of the game, The Evil Within 2 never does. It ends at the right time to the point where you want more. So you'll go back for more with another playthrough, then another, then another. It's for these reasons that The Evil Within 2 is my favorite game of the year. Fun fact, actually, The Evil Within 1 was my game of the year 2014, and now The Evil Within 2 is my game of the year 2017. This is the makings of a great franchise, you see. So that is my game of the year categories list. I actually enjoyed doing this more than game of the year, I think. I think it felt a little more cool, not as generic. So, I hope you guys liked it too. Anyway, I'll see you all in another video. Let me know if you agree. Tell me your personal list of your top 10, or if you want to go into the categories I said. Go ahead. Anyway, I'll see you all in another video, and Mr. Froggy is out.